Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4, and today we're looking at 11 Football Manager board game by Portal Games. Now this is looking good for our host as he's a big football fan, so let him tell you all about it, and please, I'll apologize for him playing some football things before he speaks. Now I've taken a brief holiday to come over to Gamefound from Kickstarter and 11 Football Manager board game by Portal Games. I've been looking forward to this and I'm a huge football fan. Oh yeah, Viva Ronaldo, Viva Ronaldo. Yeah, I'm a Red Devil, Manchester United fan, big time. When I was at school in the 90s, it was 9 hours of PE every week. 9 hours of football. Comes shine, rain, snow. It was football. 9 hours. They cut it back to 7.5 hours because we had to mix it with a bit of cricket, rugby, basketball and athletics and even dancing one year. But yeah, let's have a look. Well, it's kicked off really well, over 100,000 euros. Wow. An interesting 21-day campaign. And I have been watching many playthroughs today over the gameplay, and I do have some worries about it. But I'll tell you about these. They can be fixed, absolutely. And hopefully my comments bleed back to Portal Games so they can at least address my concerns. 1 to 4 players. A lot of people believe it rests on the solo, but it could rest on easily go more players if they start to do some interesting things. But let's have a look. Now it says here an illustrated setup for a solo game, right? It's massive, isn't it, on the table? Now you're going to be playing scenario based. One of the opening scenarios is that you're in League 3. And in English football, that doesn't exist anymore. In fact, League 3 is the lower divisions now, because you've got the Premiership, League 1, the Championship was League 2, and League 1 now is actually League 3. So when you're out of the leagues, you don't have a stadium looking like this. In fact, in the Premiership, only maybe 8 teams have a stadium like this. You go to Spain, how many teams have a stadium like this? Maybe 5. You go to Germany, maybe 4. France, maybe 3. So why are you giving us this like top division, superstar, Champions League stadium for someone who's at League 5? So I wish you could swap this out for the scenarios to make you actually feel like you're progressing as a manager, because the stadium actually is a huge icon for how well you're doing. And that one I'm looking at there would be the most difficult division, because you're up in the Premiership, you're in Champions League, and the competition is very, very high. You know, that stadium looks like it's an 80,000 stadium, and at League 5 your attendance is less than 1,000, maybe. So yeah, that's kind of something I'd like to see changed, have different stadium boards. Now, the getting staff in is really cool. I like that you've got fans coming in. You can get loads of sponsorship, and I like the fact you get different players in. You can train the players. You can get young players in. I like the fact that it hides what the youngsters' potential is, because it's a gamble when you bring youngsters. They have good promise, but you don't know how they're going to turn out. You can turn the card over and spoil it, and you just don't want to do that if you want to play the real kind of simulation here. Now, I think when you get your players, I think this game could be the best use of translucent sleeve cards, because especially if you're playing a 2 to 4 players, because you each have a different club and you each have different strips. And it would be phenomenal if you actually had a sleeved card, so when you got a player, you could sleeve him in so it changes his jersey on his card. That would be really good. And yeah, because if you look at the pitch here, where it's got the 4-4-2 setup here, that's purple. Yet your players, if you look to the right of it, they're all wearing white t-shirts. And if you're playing 2-4 anyway, everyone's got these white t-shirts. But come on, like, get some of these sleeved cards put over the top to like dress over and make them look like they've got the colours of your team. And it's like you don't really need that many sleeves to do it. So I don't know. I really think that should be done. Now, when you're fighting another team, you get like a card and you're pitching your players against their players, and you are getting these cubes that are going up and down a track. And if you get 5 on one track and they get 2, you win the match 5-2. But it's absolutely stupid to do it like this. I think the actual numbers on the cube track should be chances that you're getting. Because football is so unpredictable on the pitch. You could have 40 shots on target, yet lose the match 1-0 when your opponent only had 1 shot. These are the kind of crazy things that happen in football. And I really think instead of it being 5-2, I think that should be 5 dice rolls, where it's a 50-50 to see if you score. Because then, let's say it's 3-2, those dice rolls could mean you're going to lose. And you've got that unpredictability of the match then. And that adds a little bit of chaos, but it's the chaos that should come within the simulation. And if I'm playing this game, I'm going to home rule that big time, because it needs that extra layer of unpredictability in the matches. That's how I feel. And I think when your players come up against another player of equal measure, you're kind of not measuring that. But I think there should be a dice roll on that if you're coming against equal measure. And the dice roll could be a D10. And if you get a 1, it's an injury to one of the players. You know, you need to have this injury where you've got to rest players and stuff. I think that is another layer they could bring in here. And it would be very, very tight and a beautiful game simulation that all football fans would really enjoy. But let's go down and see where it's at. Stretch goals from this campaign are Gamefound exclusive. You're not going to find them at retail. And where's this 3D stadium picture here? You've got these nice 3D components. 60 euros as well, that's roughly 70, maybe $72. It says all the extra content we're adding in this campaign, as well as the add-on expansions, doubles the gameplay value. Like 3 boxes it's hinting at here. International Players Expansion. Let's see what they are. And if the add-ons, hopefully they've got prices down below, because I don't want these coming mid-campaign. I want to see this day 1 so I can actually factor in the price. Yeah, in all the gameplay that we've seen, there is some repeat art, and I hope that's just part of the prototype and they actually do that. I actually think the background of each of these could get another art pass, because it's just copy paste. It's a lazy card art for me. That could be done, because that card could be used in any game at all. There's nothing on that background of this person that says you're in the football world, and it's generic. The art is so generic. You know, that could be the director of any business. And at least in the football world, the director should be seen with maybe some trophies in the background, or, you know, shirts in the dog room on the pitch or something. You should see something. It should be communicating the beautiful game to you. Now, it says the stretch goals are going to be daily, and it's going to have 120 euros is the value for this. So, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? All right, the day one is this stadium dice tray. It actually looks fairly cute. Doesn't actually look like a stadium, but it doesn't really matter. It's the principle of the thing. It's just a dice tray. So this is going to be interesting with the goals, and if they're doing dailies, I'll have to come back at the end for a final thoughts on this to see how it has grown, and do I give my full recommendations, because when they're kind of growing slowly, it's hard to give a recommendation because you need to come later on in the campaign to do that. But I've told you my concerns already of where I think the game needs to be. So yes, fantastic. They're telling us the add-ons already the price. You need to factor this in. Ooh, there's a lot of them. Oh, you've actually got to pay for the solo expansion. Okay. The unique setup deck. What's this? 8 starting cards giving players asymmetric advantages at the start of the game. This is the free add-on if you follow the campaign before September the 7th. That's a fairly mean add-on, isn't it, really? That should be in the main box. It is what it is. Unexpected events, let's have a look. Add 2 new mechanics to your game. Breaking news cards, which trigger the keywords you can find on players' cards. And the reputation track. You could have more... I do like this, that they're adding more complexity. It says, yeah, but the real unexpected event for me is on the pitch, and like I've mentioned. Stadium expansion, are they bringing, it says 24 tiles. They're the upgrades, aren't they? No, they are the big ones. Let's have a look. More staff, sponsors, infrastructure. Hang on. 24 tiles. Where are they? The infrastructure tokens, is that what you mean? I mean, if they're changing that stadium, they only need to change it to follow the campaign, right? So they might only need five of them. Are we going to see it in one of these? Let's have a look. International players. There's no modern football's leagues without international players in the league. This is really good. Yeah, this sounds good. All this content's good. I mean, the big question is, where's your all-in button? The whale pledge. Okay, International Cup. More opponent cards. Isn't that for the solo? Oh no, because you are going to be playing against other players, aren't you? Even if you're in like this cup. I like the fact there's a cup though. This is a fantastic thing to get in here. And because one of the things you want in the persistence, in the game of football management is persistence and the aspect of time and progression. And there's quite a lot here, so it's like 120 euros expansions. That's putting it up to 180 euro pledge. Wow, 180 euros if you want all of this. Or you could say 160 if you don't want the solo. We'll see what the all-in pledge is. Hopefully they'll put one in by through the campaign. So yeah, 4 stadium boards for each player. I just want to see more of these, really. And is it the same stadium for each player? That would stink if they did that. The team tactics board here, this blue pitch, I don't actually like that. I prefer if it was green, like a pitch, because football pitches do have interesting lines. I know they've got an image of a stadium behind it, but I don't know how I feel about that. These director cards definitely need staff cards. They need new art for me, backgrounds and stuff like that. Sponsor cards, if they're giving you these different colours to wear, that should be a translucent sleeve for your peeps, right? Yeah, you're trying to do objectives. You've got a deck of all the teams you'll be facing. Youngsters and players. Veterans is important as well. Yeah, it's all looking great. Tokens are all looking great. Now you might say, can we get some screen printing on these? Can these go translucent? There's these kind of things that I think Portal know all about. The stretch goals will sort that stuff out. Now these big chunky tokens here, they're just going to be cardboard, aren't they? And are they going to make these acrylic or wood? That would be a nice add-on. And there's still no word of these scenarios that I'm seeing the people play with it. We've just not seen it, have we? What's this down here? Solo sheets. I don't think that's this. Is that how you're playing solo then? Just scenarios, but you've not got a campaign that you can play as co-op or competitive. It's kind of weird. But I guess you've got the tournament if you want to do some kind of interesting thing together. And you might have to do your own kind of league to be going on. So yeah, this is what your player board looks like. It's really big, isn't it? Very big. You're putting loads of things in. You're going through each day of the week, and you've got some interesting choices going on. Yeah, they've all got special abilities. They've all got potential on the pitch. They've all got bonuses that they can combo with other cards and things like this. Right, I think we're getting to it. We've got much. I think I've said much, as much as I can on it, really. Potential of club. I think it is a solid game. I just want to see more depth to because what football are you getting where it's 7-6, which could totally happen? Which football are you playing where you get 6-1? That's not the normal scores in football. In fact, it's kind of extreme to see high numbers in football. So that's why I kind of want the numbers to be dice rolls, and you know, only if you're very lucky could you get 7 goals is what I think it should be. So yeah, it does say you're going to be playing 8 rounds and 8 weeks. The season will end. And I guess that's when you can go into the cup, I guess. Nice. Now there's a lot of playthroughs you can go through. I think, let's have a look. Rado's good. Man vs. Meeple. He's good too. Roll for crit. There's the Tantrum House one if you like solo plays. But you only really need to see one playthrough. I think you might agree with my points about that I've said. Shipping's not too bad actually. It's rest of the world 62 to 68 max, because the game I looked at earlier on today had shipping up the wazoo, 200. Game's 100, the shipping's 200. Excuse me. Agmonia, that by the way. Check my video on that. That game has problems. Oh, that game has problems. Agmonia. Oh man, I was looking so forward to that game. And I am deeply concerned about that game. But for this game, not that much problems with this game. what do I... If I had to change one thing, it would be translucent sleeves to change the jerseys on your players. Get them into the team. Second thing I'd change, you can home rule it, is add a dice roll to the events and maybe put in some... If the players are matched on the pitch, there's a chance of a success even, or even an injury, critical loss. I could get an injury or something like this. And the other thing is the stadiums. I wish we've not seen like lower level stadiums, I guess, if you're playing those scenarios. I think if that's going with solo mode, maybe the solo box should have them in if you're going to be managing a low league team. All right, there you go. 11 Football Manager board game. Looking fantastic, peeps. Really is. I'll have to come back to see where it's stretching, if they do an all-in. And at least they're showing you everything that you're going to have to pay for. The other stuff might just be component upgrades, but that might just come in the dailies. And they've got a stretch goal, have they? I was going down and talking too much. I didn't really see. They have some kind of automatic thing, don't they? I think it's just... let me just come down here a second. Just bear with me. It's just dailies. Yeah, just dailies, which is my preferred, to be frank. And I love it. I'm kind of done with stretch goals now. Because they can completely add stuff to the daily. If this game hits 1 million, then they can put a stretch and stick it in the daily. They don't need to kind of artificially have stretch goals. Just make your dailies more juicy when your game is taking off. But I'm so happy that the game has funded. I really hope it does get up there with more football people on this, because it's looking really good. And I think the things that I would like changing are really easy to do, wouldn't cost much more, and would certainly get me recommending it. But we'll just have to see how the 20 days left progresses, because they will be showing us updates, and hopefully they'll be talking about changes that are coming from the playthrough videos, because some of them have said the rules have changed that they got. So it is evolving, the game 11, so it can be perceived that it can change. One thing I always miss on Gamefound is when it's expected. It's so obvious on Kickstarter, but when is it delivering? I don't know. When are you delivering? When are you expected to pay for it? Yeah, €1 pledge. Yeah, you can totally do that. Well, peeps, if you know when this game is estimated to ship, let me know in the comments, please, because I have no idea where they've hidden this. Dear me, isn't that something obvious that we want to look at? Alright, peeps, and there's a big advert up there for Mythic Mischief, a game I covered last week on the channel. It's an epic strategy game. My editor has backed. Totally fantastic. And I can be back in this beast because, yeah, not much change to it. And I look forward to following these daily unlocks on 11. So I will be back for a handful on Final Thoughts. That should be good. Looking for that one. Alright, peeps, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of 11. Yes, give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and if you love Kickstarter or Gamefound games, please think about subscribing on the channel and hit that bell for when all our videos go live. Well, once again, thank you for watching. You have been listening to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I've been the host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now. Viva Ronaldo! Viva Ronaldo! Ooh, ooh, ooh.